people do break themselves in half in life trying to struggle forward, and they're not successes in their own eyes, and they're rejected by other people, and it undermines their faith in being itself. You can understand that, but you're called upon to bring your best to the table no matter what happens to you, and to maintain your faith and your courage, and to aim up. There's no excuses. Your past trauma, there's no excuses. Doesn't matter what it is. And so there's this battle, and what's happened in the universities is the universities have been captured by the resentful spirit of Cain. And so that's all flowered up with postmodern language. There's no ultimate unity. That's the claim of the postmodernists. There's no overarching narrative. It's like, that's what the postmodernists claim, skepticism with regards to meta-narratives. It's like, well, what do you mean by that? You mean that everything culminates in disunity? That's your theory of being? So how the hell do we come together as a society then? And around what? Well, everyone goes their own way. Yeah, that's called war. So is there a higher unity in which everything participates or not? Well, the postmodernists is like, no. Have it your way. Nihilism, disunity, anxiety, hopelessness, social disintegration, conflict. That's that pathway. And that's just where it starts. That's the optimistic view.
That
You want more peace in your life? You will be infinitely more peaceful when you decide not to waste any more time arguing with people who don't understand you. Be okay with being misunderstood, because people can only understand from their level of perception. And you have to understand that no argument in this entire world is worth damaging your mental health.
You need an antidote to suffering, and it has to be deep. And deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing, but that's better than happiness. And maybe if you're lucky, while you're pursuing that and while you're immersed in it, you get to be happy, and you should fall on your knees and be grateful for that when it happens. It's a gift. It really is a gift. And it comes upon you unexpectedly, your happiness. But you aim to climb uphill to the highest peak you can possibly envision. And that's better than happiness. And so if you tell young men, look, you're going to find the meaning in your life by adopting maximal responsibility, right? That's going to be extremely difficult because you're so bloody useless. You can't even get your own house in order. And you're going to be called upon not only to get your house in order, but to do that well enough so some woman can stand having you around for more than like 15 minutes in the back of a car. And then maybe you're going to have to do it so that you could be a good father to a family and a pillar of the community. And that's not just empty words. Like, if you do that nobly, there'll be something to you. And then when the storms come, you won't be blown over by the first 4-foot wave. And young men think, I could be something that wasn't blown over by the first 4-foot wave. Think, oh, well, that's inspiring. Maybe that's worth doing a little work towards it, on the off chance it might be true.
Whenever somebody gives you their opinion on anything, listen to the opinion and then stop and look at who told it. Because you never want to adopt the thinking of somebody who you don't want to be. Because their thinking made them.
To forgive someone so that you can heal a relationship means that they have to confess what they did, they have to assess why it was wrong, they have to come up with an alternative way of behaving, and then they have to swear, by all that's holy, so to speak, that they're not going to do that again in the future. And then I think, and you might say that the devil in your mind that's still accusing you might say, well, what you did is so terrible that you should never be let off the hook. And I would say that is that if that's the criteria that you use for judgment, then everyone's doomed, because everyone makes mistakes in their lives. And I would say probably everybody makes unforgivable mistakes. And so if we're going to take ourselves apart about that permanently, then we're all ruined. The other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting. Because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do? Why not do that? Maybe you could justify your wretched existence to yourself that way. I think you could. That's what it looks like.
People find such meaning in the responsibilities they adopt. It stops making them ask questions about what life is for. If you have a newborn child, for example, like unless you're really in a bad way, psychotically depressed, or maybe your personality really needs some retooling, you stop thinking about anything but ensuring that that baby is doing well. And if someone comes along and asks you an existential question about your commitment to that, the right response is, why are you asking me such stupid questions when this is manifesting itself right in front of your eyes? Like, how blind can you be? That isn't a time for questions about the meaning of life. The answer is right in front of you. And if you can't see it, it's not because life has no meaning, it's because you're blind.